Here we go. Let's go. Hey.
Every time.
Man. Reminisce. Yo, man, every Tuesday, man, the Reminisce Show, carrying the traditions of Sankofa, because sometimes we got to go back and collect what we may have forgotten. And this is a very special edition of Reminisce Show. So much has been aligned, and I'm just excited to get into it, man. Like we've been riding off of this special week. Some of y'all seen the posts on social media, man. The all Canadian Northstars events, man. Like so much is going down. It's great. Oh man, we're gonna get into it, man. But as usual, man, we got to start off with our check-ins, man. You know, I got to see how my brother's doing, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good, fam. I'm good. I'm just, just kind of dealing with reality. I kind of didn't do much ever since Thursday. Just took it in and wow, it's been a lot of weird and wild, wonderful things happening in the world lately. And yeah, man, I feel good. Been working out, get my body healthy, man. But how are you doing? How are you doing?
I love that, man. Yo, I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Like, this weekend, again, like you said, I'm riding off of the high from Thursday, leading into Caravana, leading into Emancipation Day. Like there's just so much activation, and it's all Sankofa. Like everything is all Sankofa. I just love how it shows up in my life in so many different avenues. And it's a reminder that we're on this frequency and we're on this path, man. So I'm just excited. I'm charged up. I have like full confidence to continue to do what we're doing. We know that we're doing something that's meaningful and that's important and that's really aligned with like, the greater consciousness, So yeah, man, I'm feeling good, feeling blessed, highly favored, and I'm ready to get into it, bro.
Oh, fam, I really sincerely and truly feel like the work we're doing, the art we're making, the words we're speaking, and the path we're walking is right and exact. It's proper.
Right and exact, man. Right and exact.
It's needed. It's vital. And yo, I just got to shout out Dank. Shout out to my homie, my brother, my mentor.
Frank and Dank, man. Yeah.
Yo, Dank and me go way back, man. Dank is actually the first person to ever give me a feature. And he featured on Fail with my first Rich Kid song.
Right.
And like Dank is actually, he came and did the ad libs on the song, and just so for me to like have this amazing Rich Kid beat where I'm dissing America and having an American do the ad libs on it, like it's just pure love.
Let's go.
And Dank was at the show. We're gonna get into it in a sec, but god damn it.
All right, man. Well, yo, with no further ado, man, you already know what we came here to talk about, man. It's like a special edition where I feel like I'm going to be like interviewing you, man, because like you're you're the Morpheus, you know what I'm saying, of this, man. You're the Osiris.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like you're that guy right now. And it's so beautiful, man, because we've had many conversations about your contributions. I got nothing but love and respect from you. I tell you that all the time, but it's great to see it broadcasted. It's great to see the acknowledgement in many capacities. And Thursday, at like the launch of OVO, which was kind of like which as we mentioned before, it started off as kind of being like the appetizer, but then end up being the main course, which we'll get into. Show got canceled, whatever. But it's really all about you, fam. You know what I'm saying? And the work that you have contributed for like 20 plus years, as far as I know it goes way back, even before that, like your connection to hip hop in Toronto, in Canada goes even further back. But I'm just talking about just the time period that I've known you, which is about 20 years.
Yeah,
and it's just beautiful to see, like the way how I feel about you and your contributions and your passion gets me excited. And it was just beautiful to see that night. So, let's get into it, man. The OVO Fest, it starts off with me just, getting some tickets. And I'm like, you already know, man, Mindbender, this is Reminisce Show. We're going to see all of our peoples. We got to be there. I don't care what you got planned going on. And why don't you, take it away, man? Like, what happened, man? All of a sudden, we end up backstage and whatever. But like, break it down for the people who just who weren't there to witness, man, who weren't there to bear witness.
Okay, man. So I'm gonna say some wonderful things here that aren't gonna be shared anywhere else, because this is
please,
fan with me and you. So I do go back with Drake many years. I've seen probably 15 Drake shows. I've seen 7 OVO Fest. I've seen him open up for Mad Cats. I saw him open up for Most Def at the Phoenix. Mad, like early days. Early 90, like he said, it's pretty locked in that was the first big artist Drake opened up for. And I was there, front row. So, and I dapped him like Drake. Like, I've seen Drake at many events, and I salute him and I support him and I hear him and I'm a fan. So he knows we go back. I haven't seen Drake since 2019 at the basketball game before the Raptors championship OVO Fest.
Got you.
So he had the ball game, and the ball game is going on, and I'm across from him and across the entire basketball thing. But this is the first time I've seen him in person in quite some time. So it's nice, and I see him. I walk in, and he like points at me. He's like, "Yo," and like he just hails me up hard, and he's like standing at the coach's table, and I was like, we make eye contact, and I'm like, "Yes, brethren, I see you too. I'm happy to be here. Mad love," and we there, and he just like a couple seconds, we just acknowledge each other for real. But the basketball game was too crazy. He had too many people around him. And then I didn't get to see that last OVO Fest in 2019 where the Raptors had won. He had the CN Tower as the thing. I missed that. So like, that's the first one that I missed since I was in Africa in 2015.
Right.
So that's the other one that I missed.
What's the timeline when? Because I remember filming you and Drake at King of the Dot. I remember you two were like kind of hanging. What was it? What year was that, man? Like, was that about 2000?
Probably 2017, 2018. Well, no. I think 2016, because Drake was like still going out to events and stuff. Right, so like we do go back, and like I was on MTV with him and Maestro. We were all together. Like Drake and I sincerely have a similar love and appreciation for music. Like people don't know that much about Drake, and I'm like, for the few things that we've shared together, we like are high analysts and like deep lovers and appreciators of the culture.
Gotcha.
So with all that being said, I hadn't seen him in 3 years. I hadn't seen him since the OVO basketball game in 2019. And like I just, I felt like we're friends, but like I'm just like, how big is he on whatever level of life? I'm like, how many people are calling him for whatever? So I'm like, whatever.
Right.
And I'm so happy you were beside me, man, because we're just walking up to the show. I was like, I got to be at this Canadian OVO Fest, but I didn't expect to see Drake. I didn't expect to link up with him or nothing. I was like, I just got to be there. And I thought that was the only thing we were going to peep. And I had to. yeah, it's the perfect moment because I'm walking with you and your neighbor, and like my phone starts buzzing as we're like right outside. Shout out to Mel Boogie and Gary Ann and DJ X. The show is just starting. It's 8 o'clock. My phone starts buzzing, and I'm like, I'm all like it burned into that moment on the concrete where we were standing. Everything I will never forget. And I'm like, it says, Champagne Poppy has messaged you. And I'm like, I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, what?
Let's go.
It says notifications. Champagne Poppy has messaged you today, 8:13 or what? And I'm like, what? I'm like, and I'm in my brain. I'm like, is my phone glitching? Is somebody fucking with me? Like, what is this? And then because I don't use Instagram much. I know Instagram is Drake's name on Instagram is Champagne Poppy.
Right.
And to be honest, Drake retweeted my review for him on Hip Hop Canada for the first
right.
OVO Fest. So it's been, I'm like, and that was on Twitter. I usually use Twitter because you can be nude on there. So I'm on there for my porn. And like, I know that Drake is on Instagram mostly, and I'm like, I don't expect to see him, whatever, the occasional whatever. I'm
right.
But I still have a Instagram account that I don't use. And then he just gets at my Mindbender Loves You account, and the message in it, first I saw that he had video call, and then the message in it says, please tell me you're coming tonight. And I was like,
so let me get this straight. So Drake tries to call you, video call you, like not even just regular call. This is video call you on IG.
On IG.
And says, please, like this is quote. Like, can you read that again?
No, he wrote that, and I've screenshotted it. But like he wrote it here, and he wrote in text on IG. Right. Please tell me you're coming tonight.
Come on, man. Come on.
And like, so I'm with you, and I'm standing outside, and I'm holding my phone, and I'm like, I just turn it around, and I just click, and I'm like, I get to reply to him immediately. I'm right here, and I'm like, I would never miss this night, and I'm like, so, and then he messages again, and my phone is fucked up. It's so I'm like, yo, I gotta get my shit together. This is such a wake up call on so many levels. But my speakerphone doesn't work exactly.
Okay.
But it has to use the headphones. So he messages again on IG, and he's like talking, and the speakerphone's not working. I can hear him, but he can't hear me. And he's like, yo, are you there? Like, you have to be there. And I was like, I'm talking to him, and he's like, I can't hear you. Like, anyways, I'm gonna get a dude to VIP you. You're in. And I was like,
jeez.
I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, I'm trembling a little. I'm like, this is wonderful. It makes sense. It's like, it makes perfect sense, but he didn't have to do that. I didn't know if it wasn't not on my radar. Like, I didn't think Drake would reach out and honor me, honestly, and just be like, yo, I'm doing a Canadian All-Star Showcase. Please tell me you're coming. And like, I don't know if anybody else he did that for or to, but I know that I was the only person in the media pit that was not media. So
absolutely,
like,
man.
Yeah, we got them VIP wristbands, and that brethren just took us right through the venue, right through the doors, and right up to them blue light stairs, the magical stairs, and we were just in the other world on a higher level, backstage, good food.
Backstage, and that's where we got to see, like, you know, everybody, man, all the people who touched the stage, you know, were backstage. And for me, like, it was also like a reunion, you know, just seeing a lot of the people that I grew up with, you know, watching on much music, you know. And one of the beautiful things is, like, over time being in the hip hop scene, like the people who I've idolized, you know, later on became like my peers, you know what I mean? When I seen Infinite, man, like he saw me and he was just like, yo, and hailed me up, and I'm like, yo, these are like people who I would like idolize on TV and whatnot. And of course, Kardinal, Red One, Checkmate, you know, of course, Stro, Tara Chase, man, she started following me on IG as well. I'm just like, yo, it was just nothing but love and peace. I definitely want to add like my connection to Drake. Isn't it as deep as yours though? But we go back like 2007 when I actually got to interview him. He was supposed to perform, interesting enough, at this like he was supposed to perform at this Nelson Mandela fundraiser, and they had Pretty Ricky as the headliner. I don't know who was there though. It was at this club. Oh, I forgot what it's called, but it was like beside like the Scotiabank Theater on Richmond. There was a club there. Republic, I think it was called.
Or what? No,
I think it was called Republic, if I'm not mistaken.
Republic. Yeah, no, Republic. Yeah.
And it was like Pretty Ricky came out in these like shiny, like Puff Daddy, like, you know, Mace type suits. And I'm like, it was just not the vibe, but that was really interesting. So anyways, I ended up interviewing Drake. And I remember, man, like it was so crazy because, like, you know, he was talking about, like, you know, Stolen from Africa and just showing like his love and appreciation for it. He's like, yo, I see the shirts everywhere. The movement's just so brilliant, and showing mad love, you know what I mean? But he didn't end up performing at that event. I'm not sure what kind of politics happened at that moment, but, you know, so it started from there. And I know that there's another connection because, you know, he used to work at JD's Connections, you know, up on Eglinton. And that was JD's Connections was the first store that, because I'm from like Little Jamaica, Egg West, Vaughan Road. You don't know. JD's Connections was the first store that I had SFA shirts in. So it's very possible that Drake might have sold a couple shirts back in the day while he worked at JD's Connections. Very possible. But anyway, so that goes back to that, and it was just love, him showing love again, and accommodating us and just being there. It was such a Toronto vibe backstage, man. And one thing that I you have something, you want something to add on, because there's something I want to share, man, for those who weren't there. I just want to get this lined up real quick, man, because this was the moment for me, man. This was like a what can I say that I let me just play this, man, for those who don't understand.
Yeah. Let's run this. Is it muted at the bottom? You have to.
Can you hear that?
No, there's no volume. Is at the bottom there, right? At the bottom of the video, yeah.
Well, I hear. Hold on. Let me just try to because hold on. I got to get this right, man. Let me get this. Let me get the audio right, man. Hold on. Let me bring this back, okay? Because we got to make sure that y'all hear what the brother is saying, man. Okay, share system audio. Okay, here we go. Let me try this again. Okay. Hopefully, we gotta go back.
First of all, by the way, when I was younger, when I used to like go and perform at like Manifesto downtown and shit, or like, I used to be at like little rap shows. It wasn't a show unless Mindbender was in the pit. So shout out. First of all.
Yeah, I just had to get the audio, man. Like, you gotta put that on a track or something. Like,
trust me, that's I have plans for where that is going to be.
So can you like take me to that moment, where you're just there front and center as usual at the front of the show, take me to that specific moment where he dapped you and really, I say he knighted you. Like, we all know it. Anybody who's really invested in the hip hop scene knows that you're invested, you're there, you're in the mix. But you being there and being acknowledged like that, so everyone who didn't even now knows. What was that experience like for you?
Yo, I'll tell you, man, it was absolutely wonderful to be honored and kind of immortalized as part of the like verbal and visual history of an OVO Fest in the Canada level, because like I have seen Drake front row at a lot of his concerts before. I mean, I didn't get front row at some of these humongous Sky Dome and ACC events, but like I saw quite a lot of them. I saw like pretty much up until like the Hotline Bling era. That's the last time I think I saw him, and that was like OVO 8, I think. Anyways, I like I said, I'd seen a lot of Canadian history from the front row. Somebody gave me that name. People have given me the couple names that I've had, but somebody was like, "Yo, you're Mr. Front Row," and I'm like, "Yeah, I like that. I live with that."
Let's go.
So, but one thing that I want to reveal here is that when we were backstage, man, after we took the pictures, Drake grabbed me and was like, "Where do you want to watch the show from?" He's like, he's like, I like whatever you want. Tell me. He brought me to the VIP section that's above, and he's like, you want to watch it from here? He's like, you could see this and this. And he's like, or do you want to watch it from the front row? Like, he's like, I know that's where you normally at. And I was I was just a little, it was very surreal, man. My brain was just like, this guy's talking about me like he like very much knows me. And like, I know he knows, but like he talked, like the level of intimacy and connection that's like,
right.
I was like,
he wanted you to be as comfortable as possible. He really wanted to accommodate you. That's really what it was.
100%. And like, I have so much love and respect. I love all our hip hop heroes and people who've done shit around the world. They all family me. All my uncles and brothers, Kardinal, Maestro, Saukrates, all them. That's just family. Michee. So like let's
go.
Yeah, for Drake to do it and to see me, and he's like, yo, it's just on some real hospitality shit. He's like, how do you want to experience this night? From the VIP here, from there, he's just pointing around. He's like, check out the venue. And I was like, no, I want to be like front row where I normally at. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And he's like, yeah, okay. And he goes, all right, so I'm gonna get you a second VIP band so you can go anywhere in the entire venue. You can, this is for, so he gets me this other band besides the VIP one. He's like, this is the media one.
We had the two.
So yeah, I had double wristbands. I'm like, this man is just being wonderful right now. So with that being said, like, I wasn't 100% sure how the night would unfold. And like, you know, there was times where I was just floating around, walking around. And then like, I was there at the front row at that moment when then he started the show. And then I didn't expect him to say that like before his whole shout out list to give me a shout out first. And like, when he said that, like he came over and did that, I was like, yeah, all this is true. You're not fronting. I'm not fronting. You and I go back.
Yeah.
To thank me later, man. I got Drake stories for Drake.
I remember that. Yeah.
So
back when artists would do like signings at HMV. I don't even know if that even exists anymore. Where they line up and do the signups. I remember you got that, man. Yo,
twice. Yeah, at least 2 signings at like, yeah, like I got it right here actually. My Take Care. But yeah, so like being there for that moment was fucking wonderful for him to say that. And I was like, yeah, dude, like this is, yeah, it's good. Like it felt really wonderful.
I have another clip, man, because, you know, there's a lot of stuff online. And, you know, for those to understand, like Bender, when, you know what I'm saying, like when you're in your element, man, this is a clip. Shout out to the Flyer Vault, man. They got like a really dope IG page, man. If you're into like, you know, memorabilia like myself, I love old flyers and just things. They got a really dope site, so check out their page. They got this dope caption. Bender. I just like, yo.
Gotta go in.
That's like you in your happy place, man. Like anybody who has been to a hip hop show knows that's you. Like that's not an act. That's like you fully activated in your zone, soaking in the culture, knowing every word of the lyric. I've seen you many times, man. Like, you know, rapping on stage with Jay Electronica and like so many other artists, and just like it's incredible, man.
3 times I think I've been on stage.
Yeah,
like multiple, like, and like, yeah, you know, I mean, it isn't an act, man. And it's like the word that keeps coming back around is love, because I do love the music. I love these people. I love these songs. I don't fucking go crazy for a song I don't love. That's just facts, man. It's just like, so like, and well, I found this.
Okay, there we go.
It's a little blurry, but
it's there. Yeah, you know, we see that, man. This guy got that, you know.
It says, to Bender, always love, Aubrey Grant. I got a couple of these. This was a little blurry, but yeah, Drake has signed a couple of pieces of dope stuff for me. And like, I also want to say this, man. Like, some people know, but some people don't know. But like, front row is where Michael Jackson used to live and watch all the concerts he could. Like,
tell me why, man. Tell me why.
Michael Jackson was notorious. I heard Prince also used to do that when he was young, but like I found, Michael Jackson is one of my inspirations, and Michael is like, there is no better education to learn how your heroes and how to see musicians do what they do than to literally be front row and center, watching it, listening to it, absorbing it, hearing it, feeling it, knowing it. And on backstage is cool, but you see the back of the artist. Side stage is cool, but you see the side of the artist. Right. And you know, it feels good. You know, getting that backstage pass feels real good, and you feel real special. It's dope to be like, all right. And it's nice to be on the stage with the artist. There's a certain energy you feel. Yeah. But with that being said, like, the artist isn't projecting the music at you. Right. So it's like, yeah, to be in the front and to have it like come at you.
Yes.
And to just like, so many times it's like I could look and literally in front of me, his shoe is right there.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is I could touch his shoe. I could I'm never gonna be the punk to punch him in what. Like it's like they're right there, so it's as real as it gets.
Right. No blockages, no interruptions. Just like HD, like
just exactly. HDTV music and Michael Jackson. That's where he absorbed, and that's where he learned the most. And I can't even fully articulate how much I've seen and heard. That's just by being in the front row. So. And this night had multiple moments of front row magic that happened. Like
there was a lot, man. I mean, so many incredible artists. Actually, I'm gonna play this video that the big homie Maestro posted on his IG. I don't know if I can make. I don't know why it's small, but whatever. We'll just play this. Let me just play this real quick. Oops.
When you step into my city, you're gonna show us some respect now. When you step into my city, got my crown, I'm a town, no one can ever take us away.
Oh, yeah.
This is
beautiful. Wow. Oh. Holy damn.
Really capture the moments, yo.
Yeah. Oh my lord.
All right. Gotta play one more. Cameo. Hey. That's all I want. I want to make sure people see the bender.
Oh my lord. I remember the camera that was capturing that, man. And like I'm honored to be part of that montage because god damn, that was that was, and like shout out Maestro. Actually twice during Maestro's performance he came over to me and put the mic to my
because he knows he got you, man. If you ever needed a backup,
you're the guy. He had Benzo doing the rocking a dope state jacket and doing the b-boy and but I can't remember the first line Maestro did, but I was a little like overexcited and hoarse. But the second line that he came over with was better yet, I call you Curious George. And I was like, he put them, and I'm like, I might have done that for Maestro maybe 3 or 4 times in various performances. That was not the first time Maestro has asked me to be his hype man in the crowd. But like doing it that night, what felt really great. And
that's beautiful, man.
It happened with a bunch of artists, to be honest.
True indeed, man. True indeed. So, there was definitely a lot of like highlights. I mean, again, like seeing Rascalz perform was what was beautiful. Of course, like Choclair, Kardinal, Julie Black, man. Like she really came through. Really brought some like inner child healing, man. I made a post about that, and every time I've seen her, it's just always been beautiful, man. And I got my photo with her and whatnot, and she follows me on IG and not Instagram, Twitter and whatnot. So that's my claim to fame with Julie Black, man. Beautiful human being.
Hold on. I want to stop and just put more icing on that cake because Julie Black to me is a goddess, is a teacher, is a pastor, is a
lighter right now, man.
Like straight up, like Julie Black.
Yes.
I mean. She pulled out Heaven, which is literally one of my all-time favorite songs. It's one of the greatest songs to happen in music history because it's produced by Agile, and it is the last song on the Godson album. And who is on the hook? Saukrates and Julie Black singing with Nas. It's one of the greatest accomplishments in Canadian history. Like, the fact like people gotta know, if you don't know that song was made by Canadian, and like the Godson album is Nas's album that he made after his mom died. Like the importance cannot be. The song is called Heaven. So when Julie dropped that, I almost broke my hand. I was like screaming along Nas's lyrics, I love the hook. I love Socks, Agile so much. And like I'm saying that to say like what she did was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in a concert ever anywhere. When the way where she was like, there's been a lot of violence in Toronto lately. And everybody put your light up right now. Like this is the light of your inner child. And we're all gonna sing This Little Light of Mine. I was like, this is, and everybody sung along. I'm gonna let it shine. Like
I'm gonna play that real quick, man. Let me just play that just for those who
oh, you got it. I want this clip so bad. It's so.
I want you to light up this room. Turn the lights low. Turn the lights low. It takes a single match to rid a room of darkness. Light up this room. This night is about collaboration and celebration, not competition. So let's lift up the lights. Lift up the lights. And I want everyone to activate their inner child right now and sing this after me. Here it comes. This little light of mine. What? I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. Sing. I'm gonna let it shine. Hey. This little light of mine. What? I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Now keep the lights on for me.
That's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in a concert. Like,
oh man, it was so needed. It was so healing. I mean, she took us to church, man. She brought us back, man.
Always
to like
makes me
humanity.
cry.
Incredible.
Like, makes me cry every time I see that shit. Like, whoo, Julie. So, anyways, moving on. Moving on. So I want to move to like, you know, more of like the critical ends of things, you know. When we like, you know, when I think about how we started the Reminisce Show and why we even went through this podcast for like, you know, just over 2 years now, you know, we realize that there is like a lot of gaps in like the understanding of Toronto history, hip hop history, like the timelines, you know, the acknowledgements. Like we kind of just, you know, accelerated and we moved into amazing spaces, a lot of new artists doing their thing, but to really understand the foundations, you know, and we always, you know, reflect on how when it comes to hip hop culture, a lot of foundations, you know, just gets, I don't want to use the word necessarily disrespected, but just there's like a lack of understanding. I think it's just ignorance, really, you know, and us as kind of like the knowledge keepers and people who have like, you know, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. It's like really our duty to educate, you know, to preserve this and to pass it on to the young folks. You know, I do my stuff in schools and I'm always talking about the foundations because at some point these young folks are going to become elders and older folks, and all these contributions matter. It just makes us stronger in our purpose and our and what we're striving to accomplish. You know, it's like the saying goes, man, if you don't know where you're coming from, you don't really know where you're going, right? So we got to really understand that. That's
you know,
real.
So that being said, you know, with the with the all Canadian Northstars, you know, event, concert, you know, homage tribute concert, a lot of folks, you know, had some words, you know, and some thoughts and feelings about, you know, certain artists that were not represented. You know, there was a lot of artists who were also in the crowd that maybe, you know, that they didn't really see on stage, and there was a lot of things too, you know. So I'm curious to know, like, what was your perspective in that, and then I'm going to go to some posts that were made by Dalton Higgins, you know, that's the brother right there who we're going to have featured soon, and David Click Cox as well, who made some really interesting IG posts I'm going to read. I'm just curious to know your perspective on this as someone who is there and, you know, who may have some perspective. So yeah, go ahead, brother.
Well, okay, so I've been to all the OVOs except for two, like OVO 5 and OVO 9. And OVO 5 was Nas and Stevie Wonder. OVO 9 was Raptors Day. And so the whole time, every single guest except for the very first OVO, he had Eminem, Jay-Z, Young Jeezy, and Kardinal made one appearance. So Kardinal, Kardinal Offishall is technically the only Canadian artist to ever touch an OVO stage up until the Canadian All-Star event.
Wow.
So I've seen all of them, most of them been American. So that being said, like, that's why it was so important that Drake did this event. But Drake there's nobody who's ever got all of Canadian hip hop history in one fucking event. And nobody could do that. Like the CBC didn't do that. Manifesto never did that. Style and Progress never did that. So every single time a major event happens, there's always cats in the crowd who will be like, yo, man, I could have been up there. I should have been up there.
Right.
I never really think that myself, because I know my music's all fucking weird and I'm trying to be like Rascalz, Andre 3000, or like, you know, weirder musician. So I'm not like sitting in the front row screwface like I should be on stage. I'm like, yo, like I'm not here as Mike. I am Mindbender, but I'm here also as like Adhimu Stewart, the journalist, and a hip hop head that supports the community. So I mean, that being said, like I hear that when people say that, but I'm like, I have zero criticism for the lineup that Drake chose, because it was a very organized event that went off sound and visuals and everything pretty fucking good. 85-90%. We had everything organized, like everyone gets, you know, 5 to 10 minutes, 2 to 4 songs, maybe a couple more, maybe a couple less. Right. And first and foremost, he had the fucking like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, quote unquote. No, not the 4 horsemen. No, the fucking Mount Rushmore of Canadian hip hop history, which is, you know, Maestro, Michee first and foremost, Michee, which Drake flew in from Jamaica.
Yes,
exactly. Michee.
Let's say that one more time, man. Like Michee, in other words, Michee was not even in Toronto.
Yes,
they flew her out for the day because like the next day she was back in Jamaica, so she flew out for the concert. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like I think that deserves some acknowledgement. So big
that is seen and heard and acknowledged, and salute to Drake, fucking top soldier general for doing that. Michee, Maestro, Kardinal, and Saukrates. Those 4 people have done more for Canadian hip hop than so many people. All of us that have opinions and whatever, everybody's done various wonderful things, whatever. But those 4 people are 4 very special people. Drake had them all on. That's like, to me, so that like for the first OVO Fest, salute that you did it right. And then, you know, like what you had Julie Black, Chaos, Choclair, Rascalz, like, you know, Rascalz from the West Coast. That's a good look. Like Glenn had some, and like, you know, at first I was like, why is Sean Desmond on there? When I first saw the flyer, when I saw the show, I was like, I know why Sean Desmond's on there. And Sean Desmond did a fucking amazing set. He's a real entertainer. He's dope.
I'll be real with y'all. Like, I did not quite understand why Frank and Dank is on there. And again, I'm not hating. You know what I mean? Maybe you can help me understand that connection.
Well, it was because Frank and Dank are basically honorary Canadians at this point. They were based in Detroit, but like I know they've moved here. Dank has lived here for a mad long time. I go back with Dank for a long time. Like I'm saying, like I saw him on the street when he jumped on my Rich Kid song. He was walking around like Toronto, and we did that like 2011. So I know Dank has been here a long time. They were signed to Universal with Jody and Ivan. They played like Saukrates produced a bunch of shit for them. Rich Kid produced a bunch of shit for them. And like, I think as far as I know, like Dank's daughter was born in Canada. So like, or his wife or his daughter is Canadian. So like, like these guys are like, they're kind of like they're like Eternia and Mr. Lift. It's like you guys are like cross border.
Got you.
Honorary. But I was just gonna say quickly. At first, I was like, "Oh, Sean Desmond, really?" And then, like, not to diss him, but before I saw him blow up the stage, and then I was like, Drake had Keisha Shante,
that was real.
Melanie Durant. I was so happy he had Glenn Lewis, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So he's got a little bit of R&B on here, and it's like that makes sense for Drake because he's hip hop and R&B.
For sure.
So it's like I'm saying all that to say I thought it was a fucking spectacular, excellently executed, very, very great, fucking diverse serving of Canadian legends. And like, yo, In Essence was there. That was wild. Like, and like it ended off with Northern Touch, and he brought out Checkmate from like everybody except for Thrust. I don't know why Thrust didn't show up, but I'm assuming Thrust was invited, but it ended off with the performance of Northern Touch and Nelly Furtado. I'm like, that
was really special, man. That was hard.
Yeah, I'm not gonna complain. Like, I want to hear about the people who like felt left off and like and all that stuff. And like,
I know for one. I mean, some people thought that Ghetto Concept should have been on.
Yes.
which I would agree. But again, I know from my experience doing event planning, it's a daunting task, man. It's not easy. You know what I mean? You can't please everybody. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes, and sometimes you don't even enjoy the show. So never mind like organizing and being part of it and enjoying it. It's crazy. But that would have been nice.
You're right. Very quickly, I'll say I'm not 100% sure Ghetto Concept is actually active anymore. I know both of those brothers. I know one of them is totally an executive, and executive. And I'm I don't know if they perform anymore. I'm not. They haven't announced it, but like.
I think like, in this particular context, regardless if that's what they're doing, that would have been nice. But I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, so I can't really speak to it. But Ghetto Concept, I feel, would probably be one of the only missing links. Another link that I thought would be pretty notable would have been Snow. If Snow came out and performed Informer, I thought that would have been pretty cool.
That would have been wild.
That would have been just like, you know what I'm saying? Like my childhood right there, you know what I'm saying? But that's okay though. But like I said, like a lot of people had things to say. I want to pull up what Dalton Higgins, man, the brother, man, super hip hop, pioneer journalist, teaching hip hop in schools, man. He has a course that's on about like Drake and the Weeknd, like teaching at I was going to say Ryerson, but I know it's called what's it called now? The Metropolitan.
Yeah, well, you can call it Ryerson, but like I figured Dalton should have been there. I'm like, how do you have a course?
Was he? I don't know. Like, was he there?
I hope he was, because like, if you have a course on Drake, you should be at OVO Fest. Like, that's just a no-brainer to me. Yeah,
okay. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna read. So first and foremost, we got to shout out this epic photo here because this is kind of like one of the, original kind of capture. I mean, there's been several captures, but this one was pretty meaningful. And I mean that because of, the amount of people that are in this shot, not just the fact that myself and my men are also in the shot too. You know what I'm saying? This photo goes back to 2008. Shout out the homie Che Katari, man, who's also the founder of Manifesto. I'm just going to read what Dalton Higgins had to say here. And he goes on to say, Toronto hip-hop history ain't no mystery, or is it? The historian's work is never done. I
agree with that.
Why we do the work that we do. So he goes one. So he has this 3-part of his post here, and he says, 1, in 2008, photographer Che Katari invited me out to participate in this group photo shoot, A Great Day in Toronto Hip Hop, modeled after photographer Art Kane's A Great Day in Harlem, black and white photograph of the photograph of the 57 legendary jazz musician shot in Harlem in 1958. Che's team at Manifesto rounded up all the local icons and movers and shakers in Toronto they can get their hands on. And this is an epic, timeless photo shoot. And then he goes on in to number 2, which says in 2011, Chris Jackson came up with the idea to do an event that captured 25 years of hip hop in Canada. I worked with him as a content manager for the CBC-funded Hip Hop Summit, which I believe you attended that as well.
No, I worked with Dalton. There was a committee of 5 of us, and I helped put that together as well.
Awesome. So this was a concert and event that featured Kardinal Offishall, Chaos, K-Nod. Yo, what happened to K-Nod? K-Nod would have been dope on here. Michee Mee, Maestro, Dream Warriors, Ghetto Concept, Infinite, Saukrates, Rascalz, Choclair, Shad, Candace Weapon, Classified, Scratch Bassett, DJ X, Buck 65, etc. I still don't know how we pulled it off, but there's so many critical acts that didn't feature Citizen Kane, Point Blank, Tower Chase, etc. And many of the pioneer rap artists I grew up with who built this scene, who sadly few know, weren't on the bill as they had little commercial outputs, so TV ratings were a concern. Today has been wildly interesting, and my DMs have been littering with feedback tied to OVO All-Star Canadian content last night. I checked it out for research purposes. Okay, so it looks like that he was in attendance.
Okay, I'm glad you were there.
Check it out for research purposes, as I've already seen all the artists on the bill perform a ton of times, but not in this group melody format. Sean Desmond killed it. Who knew? That's what we're saying.
Exactly. He murdered it.
And while it was lovely to see a slice of our rap R&B history, it also reminded me that I and some of my older documentarian peers still have a lot of work to do to further connect our youth to all kinds of forgotten local histories, people, moments, and movements. The concert was really fun, but there was a lot of feeling of great sadness after hearing directly from so many OGs who felt ignored, left out. Man, I see all of you. I don't think any one concert can account for the entire rap or R&B history. So we need more concerts, more Black history, more mentorship, man. And that's from the brother Dalton Higgins, which I'm going to reach out to. So maybe we can get him featured for next week to continue this energy, because I really want to, capitalize on this energy while people are tapped in and tuned in. And he said it very, very well, beautifully well. And people like ourselves who are documentarians, man, who are historians, there's a lot of work to do. And I love how we mentioned the youth, man, because I want to take the stuff that we do with Reminisce Show and all these stuff and bring them into the schools and use them as educational resources to get people, more connected, to really understand this rich history. And I really, really love how he mentioned more Black history, more mentorship. Yes, this is Black history. This is Black excellence. We got to call it what it is. Yep. You know what I mean? So big up to that. And I need this photo printed and framed on my wall. It was so great to be part of hip hop history, and I'm glad that myself and you're in it, like right in center. I don't know how big it is on the screen though, but you're right in center, right there. You know what I mean? So,
and you know what, man? I'm also wearing a Tupac shirt.
Hey man,
I was like, yo, man.
Now to keep this energy going, our brother David Click Cox as well had some things to add.
I just really quickly wanted to just add to that what was said. Like, that's why Drake can't be faulted, because no one concert can cover all of us. No, and like I'm like, he had like 15 or 17 acts, and like. Yeah. Man, come on, man! Like, and Drake didn't perform himself. He didn't even do.
Chaos kind of like put him
up. Chaos forced him to do headlines, and Drake said, "I didn't practice this," and he was like, "I'm too drunk to do this," and like Chaos just dropped the beat. Like Chaos caused a fucking chaotic moment, and that was not like I have Chaos's set list here. And fucking that was not planned. Like So
the man got the receipts.
Yeah.
I better got the receipts.
Yeah, like Drake had no intention on performing that night. It was all for other people, and like
that's beautiful.
21 other 17 or 21 other people. So it's like it's I don't think I really don't. I like whether it's Ghetto Concept or Citizen Kane or whatever. Like there's a bunch of Canadian groups, of course, that could have been on there, but like I don't think it's right to complain about it. Like
right.
Like just be like, and I wanted to end it off by saying Drake did say two things that he's like, one of them that was a little less serious, but he's like, I wish we could do this every night, and then he goes, I hope that we can do this again. And when he's like, yo, man, I love this. This is a success. There can be a part 2. So that's him right there, opening the opportunity to be like, all right, well. Who's next? Like, let's get a Terra Chase up in there.
And also, too, like, I want to say, and this is giving me some ideas, too, because this was, like, the first year that they haven't done the OVO Summit. Now, for those who don't know, the OVO Summit is also a partnership with the Remix Project, and they really do this kind of, like, conference-type forum for youth. So they reach out to various community organizations and initiatives to get young people out, and they get certain artists to kind of, like, share their insights in the industry and have Q&As and whatnot. So they definitely do their part and reach it back into the community, right? Because hip hop doesn't exist without community. I don't care what anybody says. You know what I'm saying? The community is the foundation. It's the roots. How can we grow a tree with fruit without roots? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't happen. So I will give them credit for that. And I know I was talking to Ricky. Shout out Ricky, man, who's part of the Remix Project fam, and also part of the Division, OVO fam and whatnot. And I asked him about the summit this year. He says, we're not having it, but there's going to be some things coming down the pipeline. I feel some of this education, like these gaps, these pieces could also be incorporated, man. So I'm going to put that into the universe. If they need me to help out and support, they need us to come through Reminisce Show, you already know what it is. But I think this could be an opportunity to bring some real education lessons. Get a man like Dalton Higgins, man, to do some PowerPoint presentations, some lectures, send these youths with some homework. You feel me? to come back, man, and get their paper graded. You feel me? Like, yo, that's what we need right now. So I'm putting out in the universe, man, that like, yo, we can make this into like a real thing, because I feel like this is what will help give more intention into like the hip hop community here in Toronto. I think we're so scattered. There's a lot going on, but having this foundation and this intention and this harmony will definitely help, you know, bridge the gap with a lot of things. So yeah, I just want to say that. But yo, let me play this video clip real quick of from David Click Cox on his IG, and then well, I'll read the comments, but I know there's some audio here.
I want to shout out the Stylist Awards. I want to
shout out the Stylist Awards, yeah.
Yes.
Money. Cars, clothes.
Okay, so that was the Stylist Awards, and were you there for that particular one? I was there.
I was at a Stylist Awards, but I'm not sure I was in the room when Drake won that award. I was running around.
Well, I want to talk about that particular Stylist Awards real quick before I get into like, you know, the caption, because it kind of relates with Dalton Higgins. That particular Stylist Awards, I can't remember the year. I believe it might have been like the same year that he blew up. Might have been 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. But it was the height of like the beef with Big Page. I don't know if y'all remember that. It was the height of beef with Big Page, and Big Page just released like a clapback diss track, which in my opinion was pretty hard still. Like it was like a 10-minute diss record, you know, and did his thing. And Drake came through with his crew at the Stylist Awards. I remember like he came with like a whole herd of mans, and they just kind of like rushed in. Like security was like, no, we can't let everybody in, and they just came through. And I remember seeing like Drake just like huddled around like his whole OVO fam, and they came through and did their thing. And it was just like a really interesting moment, because I was like, yo, like this is the time in Toronto where we actually have like a star in the making. And it's like, yo, we got to like kind of like protect them at all costs. Like, and you know, the energy at the time was like, yo, things can get very serious and very dangerous. And for me, I was just like, yo, I hope nothing crazy pops off, man, because like we need this. Like all of us need this. We need to see these examples. Just like how Drake mentioned about seeing Kardinal, you know, being pulled on stage with Jay-Z and how much that did for him. We all needed to see that it's possible, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that things didn't go too crazy, but it could have, you know what I mean? But him going on that stage at the Stylist Awards at that moment really showed that like he's really dedicated, and yo, like, you know, there's no fear, and he's really invested in this. Like, you know, he's not running away from no problems. He's not shying away from no diss records or whatever and doing his thing. So that was a really sacred like moment. I was just like, yo, man, this can get real sticky. You know what I mean? It can get real sticky, but
wow.
Anyways, we want to see how things like evolved and things are moving, and now we're you know, he's giving back to the community. You know, it's like Sankofa, like the all Canadian Northstars was Sankofa manifested. You know what I'm saying? Like that's exactly what it is, because you got to go back and collect what you may have forgotten, man. So shout out to that. With that being said, I'm going to get into like, you know, the caption here.
Yeah, what are you saying?
Yeah, David Click Coxman, who, you know, we definitely got to get featured on here, because he's like an encyclopedia, man. He's a historian, has so much to offer, and has worked with so many artists. But he goes, I'm seeing all the photos and video comments of the All Canadian Northstars show. I'm putting my thoughts on top, and very grateful for Champagne Poppy shouting out the Stylist Awards, as I co-founded with Mike's. I'm not going to pronounce the last name, I'm going to butcher it. With Mike, and he's bigging up DJs in Toronto, Moni Webb, JoJo, Sheer, started from scratch, Needleworks, and so many other people who helped make the award show and overall Stylist weekend happen. For 8 years, we held barbecues, conferences, parties across Canada to celebrate the overall rap, R&B, and reggae scene. It's not easy. Unfortunately, we decided to close the doors right when things were starting to get bigger for the industry. I'm constantly contacted to bring it back, and it's not something that we want to do. But I do believe there needs to be something similar to celebrate today's generation of foundations. This is very important to build stronger industry and preserving our stories, music, and more. What Drake did was very needed because of his star power. He helped put a bigger spotlight on legendary acts like Infinite, Maestro, Michee, Big Sox, Kardinal, Drew, In Essence, Melly Durant, so on and so forth that we mentioned. There's so many other artists who also needed their shine, in hopes that to challenge all artists to continue shining their light on each and every, especially the ones who are not part of your crew. Challenge everyone to celebrate hard and sample each other's music and lift everyone up. Quoting Cardi from the night, we are stronger when all of us are working together. Absolutely, man. So big up Click for that, man. You know, I agree with everything that he said.
Click.
You know, shout out, you know, and we really got to do, man, sample each other, support each other, keep bigging up, because it's really the collective consciousness that's going to come up. You know, like when I see, like, you know, the West Coast, when I see Atlanta doing their thing, I see Toronto, we have that potential, like we're getting there, but we're still not quite there as yet. But I do have faith with all of us, especially as older heads coming through and really, you know, adding the glue to like this, you know, helping to mold what is happening. You know, we can definitely get there collectively, but this energy has just got me in this like super like reflective. I've even went into like my archives of like old records and photos of just like, you know, moments in time. You know, it's wild, and all this needs to be shared. You know, I know you have a crazy archive. You mentioned about cassette tapes. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say that again. Bender has cassette tapes of stuff, man. Like, yo, it's wild, man. Yo, we haven't even spoke about the hip hop magazine archive that you have.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yo, I got like over my shoulder. Look at that, all them cassette like that.
Come on, man.
There's a lot. There's
like
thousands of shits here. And you know, the thing is, I got a lot of Canadian shits, man. I got a lot of.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to DJ K Slay. I've got 15 K Slay mixtapes from New York City, like bought on the streets. But I got so much Empire shit. I got so many just dudes on the streets of Canada that were just hustling mixtape, back burner, all kinds of cats all over the place, man. But yeah, man, you're right. It's about sharing. Like I've always said that, hey, most of my shit is just whether I need to be alive for it. But fucking hypothetically, if I wasn't, my life at my house is just a dedication to the Canadian Hip Hop Museum. Well, I've always looked at it like that. And, you know, whether it's before, too late, or, you know, if we get it in the next little while, like, yo, hip hop, you know, we know what's happening next summer, 50th anniversary. But like when Canada gets their shit together to start honoring and doing like the Smithsonian, how the Smithsonian has a copy of the blueprint in there, right? Like, yo, it's like, yo, man, like we're gonna do that with Symphony in Effect, and like just, you know, realize that Father Time is like a fucking hip hop anthem and shit like that.
Yeah. Well, you know what's beautiful is, again, like all these different components, and I really want to stress the fact that we can't do this alone. It's really a collective like effort, and everybody contributes to their part. You know what I mean? Like us here at the Reminisce Show, we're only one show. We are, you know what I mean? We're only two folks, but us combined with others who are doing things, Dalton Higgins, man, David Click Cox. We know about the Northside Hip Hop archives. You know, shout out to Mark Campbell, Grumps. You know, shout out to my brother Johnny Charles, man, the Project T-Dot, man. If y'all haven't seen some of the archives that's going down there right at City Hall, that's going to be there till the end of September. You know, we're going to be having discussions during Manifesto and whatnot. So I feel like all of the combinations of all these things, we just have to keep doing it consistently. You know what I mean? And I also want to stress, like, yo, we got to put our egos aside. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I feel, you know, people want to be like the guy, like the one to like, I'm the light bearer of all of this, and like it won't work. It can't work. That's literally impossible.
Yeah, like for real. I see that. I know that, and it's like every hip hop community that ever had anything, it was about each other collectively. Like, all the best things, all the greatest moments were actual collective moments, whether it was like a group or a movement or a posse or a city. And it's like, that's one of the worst things that's happening. It's just like the singular, like cats just doing single things. How often do we get crew tracks anymore? We don't even really get crew tracks. Like, people don't. It's more, you know, we've devolved into a place where it's not like Native Tongues and fucking Dungeon Family and Death Row, but it's like it's like Nicki Minaj's fan base and Cardi B's fan base and Kanye's fan base and Jay-Z's fan, and it's like these singular units where it's like what happened to the collective hip-hop movement. So
and I also want to stress that, you know, like when it comes to like these stories and or narratives, like, you know, even just being like someone in the audience, man, like you're a participant, you know what I mean? Especially the era that we come from and that we're talking about before social media. You know, you all are the people who carry these stories, man. So I need to meet more people who are at like the Biggie show. That place was packed. I know all of y'all are, most of y'all are still alive, man. So don't try to front like y'all don't exist. I want to hear more stories. I know there's some back stuff that hasn't been shared yet. There's so much more. So don't think just talking about artists, man. Just you being there is also participating in the collective story, collective consciousness of our culture, of our history, of our narrative, man. So we all gotta keep adding on. Let's go, man. It's time. It's time. More than ever.
I'm telling you, more than ever. I say that for real because I want to tell my story. I'm telling a bunch of my stories. I'm showing a bunch of my shit. We celebrate in the next year. Like I am activated as well. Like I've been given a green light to be like, fam, you are a one of one. Even I'm like, yo, the biggest artist on the planet specifically reached out to me and was like, I need you at this event. So in my brain, I'm like, yo, I have something to contribute that is valuable. I always knew it. But like, it's just the having it reinforced and just having it be recognized. It's like word up, man. Like there's no need to hold back. So I got a lot more stories to share. I got a lot more beauty to give. And like, I know that I can do better as far as collaboration. I'm like, I'm pretty good. I go to mad people's shows, but I'm like, I just want to do better and I want to give more. And as you said about them stories, like I live next door to somebody. We had her on the show.
Right.
And like I live next door to one person who was at the Biggie show. And like so there's always more stories to tell. I got more stories to tell. And we all I'm saying all this to say like the core of the culture that we can't forget is give and receive, but it's ultimately call and response. They're like, what's an MC if nobody's listening? So the power of the listener, the people in the audience, like
love that, man. Love that.
It's call and response, yo. So they make these songs, but like, how do you feel when you heard them, or you know? So we gonna tell these stories. That's our tradition. That's what we're here to do.
Well, man, it's been beautiful, man. Like we definitely covered a lot, man. And this is, we're just getting warmed up, man. This is Reminisce Show. I got some memorabilia from from the night. We forgot to mention Jellystone, man. Jellystone also performed, man.
Yeah.
He got money with his face on it, B. he got money with his face on it, man.
I'm happiness.
You know what I'm saying? So it was dope, man.
That's Yo, that's a fucking general. That's a soldier, man. I will not say a bad word about Jellystone. That's a fucking wonderful man. It's a king in my eyes. Yo,
man, what's going on, bro?
One of the other people that actually was floating through the venue, and it shocked me. It took me 2 seconds to put everything together because I don't know exactly what happened, but Apple from Big Apple's world.
Word. Big Apple was in the house, man. And yes, he had the "I'm Not a Rapper" shirt like that. That was the whole era. But shout out Big Apple, man. True indeed, man.
Shout out Big Apple, and like Big Apple was in a wheelchair, so like I peace to his health and peace to his recovery. I don't know what happened. Like I saw it what he wheeled by and he's like, "What up, Mindbender?" And I was just shocked. I was like, "Oh fuck!" So I wanted to get a picture with him, but like I only saw him once. And
right.
But I say that to say I want to tie it into part of the hip hop memorabilia I want to share is copies of
Swag, yes, sir.
Swag magazine, Apple.
Come on, man. We got the history. We got the archives, man. Reminisce Show exclusive.
Come on. You don't get this shit every day. This shit is gold.
Come on, man. Come on, yo.
So I had, and yo, peep this, man.
Original social media, man. When social media was the newspapers, magazines. Yo, rest in peace to Ox, yo.
Yeah, straight up.
Honorary Canadian too. You feel me?
Yeah, straight up. So like, man, like I wrote for Apple, and we go back and.
Hey, look at you! Oh, jeez, but you got the real archives, man.
I got archives that people don't even know. I got so much magic here. I got.
Come on, man! Reminisce Show exclusive. How you mean?
I'm not bringing it out yet, but I have one of the last copies of the last printed issues of Swag that was off the presses before it crashed and burned, unfortunately. And yeah, I have like the advanced copy of it. It's funny, it's wild. Like I even had an interview with Jerry Heller. I spoke to Jerry Heller. Like, so shout out to Apple. Like we did some wonderful, wild things, and I just want to quickly say, like, the shit was the beef was so real with Jerry Heller and Suge Knight, bro. Like, to this day, I pick up the phone, and Jerry Heller was like mad fucking. Like, he's like, who is this? He's like, you mad fucking like nervous. He's like, yo, who is this? What? And in the background, all I hear is mad Doberman pinchers, like multiple fucking vicious dog barking. And I'm like, oh shit, what am I calling a fucking dog kennel? And he's like, no, I didn't say that, but in my brain, I'm like, well, there's all these dogs back there, and those dogs are not happy dogs. Happy dogs. Yeah, this is Jerry Heller, and I'm like, holy fuck. And then, like, as later on in the interview, he's like, yeah, man, I don't talk to a lot of people. And I'm like, yep, like, to this day, anything could happen. Like, Suge could run up on me to this day. So I got dogs, and I got my gun, and I'm like, ready. Ready. I'm like, this shit is real, like, right now.
Wow.
Shit was so real. So shout out to Apple for giving me that opportunity, because Jerry Heller's no longer alive, and
yeah, no doubt.
Jerry Heller actually offered me. He's like, I like this interview. I like you. Like, he's like, if you're ever in Los Angeles and you need a favor that I can do, like, you just ask me. So I never took Jerry Heller up on the favor he offered me, but that is part of.
Well, that's the thing, man. And like you said, you know, there's going to be a lot more opportunities. I feel it, man. Like, you know, there's stuff, you know, brewing. You know, like we're gonna have to cash in on some of these favors, you know. So
you're right.
Y'all stay tuned. We all stay tuned to Reminisce Show, man. It's okay, man. Y'all stay tuned, man.
Thank you, Natalia. Yo, we trying to give the good vibes, and yeah, that's what we here, to have conversations and just document the truth. That's all we doing every week. So I couldn't do it without my brother. And yes, fam like righteous, all our people out there.
Always,
whether you give us a comment or not, we here every week. Next week, though, I don't know what's up. I think I'll be back in time, but I'm going to New York for Rock the Bells.
Hey, let's go. Come on, man. Rock the Bells, man. Are you kidding me?
I'm going to go to see Rock. And this is the new Rock the Bells that LL Cool J has taken over.
Right.
And he's doing it in Queens. It's Lil' Kim, Scarface, Dipset, Diggable Planets, Trina.
Bro, all I can say, man, is plug yourself in with Ernie, man. Like, you know, like that's all I can say. Reach out to the brother from now, man. Shout out the big homie, man.
I will.
Shout out the big homie.
Right, I will.
Got to, man. You're in New York, man. Come on, man.
Like, yo, Ernie, you there? Holla.
All right.
So yeah, man, I'm gonna do that, and I won't be there in the weekend. I come back like next Monday. I should be here Tuesday. I should be here.
Yeah. We'll make it work. But also, man, shout out. It's also your birthday coming up too, man. You know, we can't forget all the celebrations. I know we like to be humble with it, man, but that's on Thursday, man. So anybody want to send, you know, Mindbender, Addy some love. Make sure y'all do that, man. Get up in his DMs and let him know what's up. Yo, man, happy birthday, brother. You know, for all your contributions and everything that you've been, you know, delivering, man. So I'm gonna come see you on Thursday.
All right. Thanks,
bring
man.
the little care package again, you know what I'm saying? So
that's peace. Yo,
yes, sir, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
I gotta clean up my crib for that. Like, I couldn't find my SFA shirt, but I want to give a quick shout out to this OG Toronto shirt that I don't know if people can see, but like it's crazy the CNC
Toronto. Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah, there's a crazy OG shits. All artists in the city.
All right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think Adrian Hales did this one.
Okay. Okay. Salute to the brother, man. Yo, that's fire. Yeah. All right, man.
Yo, it's been a good session, fam. Thank you for the history you captured. Thank you for sharing those clips with me too, because I ain't seen them all, and like I'm glad you were there with me.
And that's it, man. We're going to keep going, man. This is just, getting warmed up. And as you know, man, the Reminisce Show, man, we're here to carry the traditions of Sankofa, because sometimes, man, we got to go back and collect what we may have forgotten. And more than ever, man, and people are hungry for this knowledge, man, this wisdom and understanding, man. So we're going to continue to deliver and also connect with the people who are there as well, because we can't do this ourselves. So even if you know somebody or you got some story to contribute, man, please let us know, add on. And we're all about community, man. We're all about preserving our history, our culture, our identity, and pushing it forward, man. So tap in, man. Let's go, man. Let's do it. And we're going to sign off like that, man. We're here every Tuesday, man, 7 p.m. live, man. So please tune in. And we'll see y'all next week, man. Be safe, man, and keep preserving the culture, man.